My options in America, because I'm doing law here, were a little bit limited. And one of my options was University of California, Washington State, and of course here in Texas Tech. And I'd heard of Texas Tech in Australia, and it had a really good reputation. It was written about in one of our major newspapers. And I really wanted the sort of American experience as well. I wanted sort of the most American I could get, really. So Texas was sort of obviously an obvious choice. Significantly different in that it's a graduate program here. It's an undergraduate back home. Everything here seems more professional. There's much more engagement, it seems, with actual lawyers and law firms, and as many of the students I study with have been or have worked with practicing lawyers, and that seems, I don't know, a lot more professional. It's a lot more formal here. I'm always, every time I go to class or something, I'm always blown away by who I'm being taught by, particularly in my biosecurity class, Professor Sutton. Like, I'm constantly sort of blown away that I'm being taught by one of sort of the best in the field in the world. Like, that is really amazing. And I think compared to Australia, a lot of the professors, they're just professors. Their job is to just teach people. I don't think they have a really very active role within the wider field itself. Here you get the impression that all the professors have done a lot of work, both in their field and sort of broader. And I think that's really good. You get that life experience as well as just the information. The student life here is great. Yeah, it's again very different because back home, my closest friends are from high school, not from university. And here you're part of Texas Tech and you're part of the Texas Tech community. And I'm sort of always a little bit surprised by how welcoming everyone is. I don't know if that's just Texas. I think people just generally around university here, they take a lot more pride in their university. In Australia, it's sort of just, it's the square building where you get your piece of paper and people have different names on their different square buildings. But here it's sort of like, yeah, people are really in the sort of Texas Tech or University of Texas or Texas A&M. And that's really sort of a proud thing that people will talk about when they've left school. And yeah, that's not at all like it is back home. So I'm really enjoying that here, a lot of the Texas Tech pride. Texas Tech Students for Liberty, the libertarian organization here. I'm very into politics, so that really helped sort of discussing politics with people, and they seem very interested in me as a non-American, having what opinions I had about American foreign policy and things like that. And yeah, I'm sort of at least peripherally involved with a Christian group here as well. A lot of my friends are there, so I go to church with them. I go to their gospel community and stuff. I'd say, yeah, just dive into everything, I think, is really the only best advice. I think, you will get a lot of opportunities to do things, and even though it will exhaust you, just say yes to everything, do as much as you can, because that's sort of what I've been doing. I've been having a blast. I would say maybe I'd seriously think about living on campus, because living on campus, obviously it's more difficult to get around here. So living on campus, being right next to class, has actually made me go to class, which is good. But it's also made me a lot more connected with other students, and some of the other international students who don't live on campus have been having problems sort of Lubbock's a lot like Australia, actually. I tell people that and they kind of, they're a little bit surprised, I think. I like Lubbock. Lubbock people will ask me, why'd you come to Lubbock? And I'm like, because I still think of Lubbock as a very big city. Like, it's 200,000 people. That's twice the size of my hometown. Back home, Lubbock would be considered, I think, in the top 3 non-capital cities in Australia. And there's everything here. Like, you have one of the major universities in the southern United States here. I mean, it's great. And even though it doesn't feel a lot of times like a big city, everything you need is here. And so even if it doesn't look like a big city, it definitely is.